This episode of The Social Game, a Deathmatch Island RECAP Podcast, is brought to you by our proud partners at Doodads Inc. Doodads. Need it? Okay. The most trusted name in manufacturing since 2001. Use code DADDYISLAND for a free consultation today. Welcome to Island 2, The Crucible, a temperate to subpolar island with former industrial and scientific usage. Cold, rugged, and eerie, the island is covered in Deathmatch Island logos, sport competition banners, and TVs and projectors, constantly displaying up-to-date leaderboard statistics and highlights from the previous island. When we last left our intrepid protagonists, the Plums and Parata had just survived their first battle royale, taking out both Abthorpe lawman Jacobson and his right hand, SWAT officer Thomas Collins, effectively sending the vast alliance into total disarray following the elimination of their leadership. The Plums, still sans Parata, embarked for Island 2, and after several days of travel through harrowing waters, they finally see it, a shining beacon in complete darkness, its spotlights illuminating the waters that surround it. Island 2, The Crucible. But of course, they're far from the only ones here. Buzzing around the island like insects, boatfuls of competitors zoom around in the dead of night, looking for others, gathering in groups. Occasionally, a volley of shots ring out as two vessels open fire on one another. As the Plums continue their approach, a voice crackles to life from an unseen speaker aboard their boat.
Do not approach the island. Phase 1 will begin in 12 hours.
Each hour is counted down, a new message sounding over the speaker. They and the fleet of remaining competitors sit idly in the waters surrounding the Crucible, the survivors of Island 1 left to their own devices as they wait for the all-clear.
Phase 1 will begin in 10 hours.
While waiting for the start of Phase 1, some competitors get antsy, the remnants of Abthorpe's now shattered alliance taking potshots and antagonizing the competition. The Plums prepare to repel one such vessel as it approaches, only to find themselves face to face with an old friend, Parata. After the battle royale on Island 1, Fox managed to grab a boat with Sawyer Summers, who unfortunately succumbed to infection during the many days' journey to Island 2. Having found their missing Plum, the team shares information and looks over their classified map, preparing their strategy for Island 2.
Phase 1 will begin in 7 hours.
As the wait goes on, the competitors eventually settle in as two large, distinct groups begin to coalesce. One is the Shattered Alliance, the other, a group the Plums haven't yet encountered. The group carries on loud chants in an attempt to intimidate the other competitors.
Phase 1 will begin in 2 hours.
In the early morning, with 2 hours left on the Phase 1 timer, the fleet of impatient, non-Shattered Alliance competitors rush the island. Alarms break the sacred silence, and the darkness is set ablaze as turret gunfire tears through the frigid morning air, sinking several boats before they're able to make landfall. Nevertheless, most of the vessels make it to shore, getting a head start on the rest of the competition.
Phase 1 will begin in 30 minutes. You are free to begin your approach.
Hours later, after finally receiving the go-ahead, the Plums make their way onto Island 2. Finding themselves in possession of two boats, the Plums decide to split into two teams to better survey the island. Team 1, consisting of Suzanne Crazy Taxi Leung, Bobbie Usoro, Ryder Zanidakis, and Easton Green, and Team A, made up of Fox, Baconator Parata, Banyu Ortiz, and Aspen Krueger. Should everything go to plan, they expect to reunite at the emergency congregation facility. Team 1 heads to the canal access gate. Unexpectedly, as soon as they deboat, their watches begin printing loads of information, from follower counts to live telemetry data to seemingly useless statistics like breaths taken and eye blinks. Team 1 carries on, climbing onto the barge, gaining access to the waterways of Island 2. There, they encounter the final three, a trio of tough-looking competitors who are convinced the Plums aren't a threat after Ryder falls into the canal. The teams agree to ride together until the Plums disembark at the reactor facility. Team 1 takes the canals down to the reactor facility, where they are confronted by and handily beat an incident response team attempting to stop them from accessing the redacted location. Inside, they find a plethora of disturbances and oddities, including a confusing phone call from a loved one, seemingly to Easton, a room full of bright orange slugs with a broken test tube labeled Bobbie Usoro escaped, a white paper on an experimental energy project whose gross mismanagement caused a quote-unquote loss of life greatly exceeding previously approved estimates. For whatever reason, this project is familiar to Suzanne. A mist room filled with exotic overgrown tropical plants, and a dot matrix printer filling a room with astrological coordinates. They contemplate their findings before commandeering the incident response team's production van and speed off to the emergency congregation facility. Elsewhere, Team A makes landfall at the water treatment facility. When they deboat, their watches proceed to print off the same kinds of information, all except for Aspen. Hidden within Aspen's statistics rests a message containing coordinates.
Deathmatch Institute competitor. You don't know me, but I was one too. We both made it out of that hellhole, only to be dropped into another. I'm dead, but what's on me might be useful. Don't trust your team. Production has spies everywhere.
Team A enters the water treatment facility, ready to face off against some Shattered Alliance goons. But they end up biting off a bit more than they can chew, as they're thoroughly trounced in the facility's abandoned waterways, finally ending Fox Parata's incredible win streak. After that surprising loss, Team A moves on to the airport. Upon arrival, they find themselves the targets of a sniper, posted in an air traffic control tower nearby. Narrowly avoiding the sniper's fire, they navigate their way across the abandoned airstrip to the tower, storming it and bashing their way into the barricaded outpost. They take the gunman out, noting the odd markings on his face and chest in red paint. Battered and tired, Team A heads to the emergency congregation facility on foot, excited to reunite with the rest of their team. And reunite they do. Team 1 in high spirits, Team A exhausted from their last two nodes. But now that they're together again, they're surely unstoppable. The Plums approach the emergency congregation facility by van. The concrete outer walls of the facility covered in huge red bizarre symbols, the same symbols Team A had just encountered with the airport sniper. The Plums finally, formally, encounter the Ascendant Alliance, the other major alliance this season, who'd stormed Island 2 2 hours earlier than everybody else. They've taken control of the facility and reinforced it with the head start that got before Phase 1. From atop the walls of the facility, the guards demand the newcomer sacrifice one of their own to prove themselves worthy of their mercy. They demand the sacrifice of the least valuable, as determined by their number of followers. Seeing an opportunity to make nice with this powerful group, the Plums think quickly, and after a whole lot of lackluster performances this season, Easton finally pulls through with a tremendous success. Using his artistic abilities, he grabs a dead incident response unit still lying in the van and dresses the body in one of the Plums' shirts. Then, with some theatrics, he slides open the van door and kicks the decoy out, the lifeless body collapsing onto the ground. Having been deceived by the daring and duplicitous display, the guards allow the Plums to approach. They're welcomed and allowed entry into the fortress, which is stocked to the gills with armaments and members of the Ascendant Alliance. They learn about the group's obsession with followers and their mysterious leader and very top of the follower leaderboard, Alexa Ascendant Khan. After making nice with the Fanatics, they're free to leave as quote-unquote allies of the Ascendant Alliance. The Plums head off-road in their incident response van, making for a munitions cache marked on their classified Island 2 map. After a bit of searching at the marked location, they find a hatch beneath some scrub. Gaining access and descending down a long ladder into a dust-preserved bunker, they find a number of oddities, as seems to be the way of things at these redacted locations. Inside, they find a long-dead incident response unit and a tape recorder with ideas for insane reality shows. They also find a black and white portrait of a former Deathmatch Island competitor, Banyu Ortiz, season number 172. The spitting image of Bobbie, but gruffer looking. Hundreds of boxes of passports, each filled with passports belonging to a single individual, but in dozens of different nationalities. One such box has dozens belonging to Suzanne Leung. And a laptop with a live feed of behind-the-scenes editing, connecting Banyu and Easton to Doodads Inc., which is apparently involved in this season of Deathmatch Island, credited as a partner. Banyu and Easton are both employees. At the same time, Aspen slips away nearby to investigate the coordinates from their watch data at the beginning of Phase 1. After a bit of searching, they find a foxhole hidden amongst the brush. Inside the hole, among some scattered supplies, rests a skeleton, seemingly devoured by orange slugs, and an old radio. After fiddling with the decrepit technology, it buzzes to life, prompting a voice to reach out via radio waves. They're impressed that Aspen managed to survive both Deathmatch Institute and make it all the way here. He expresses that Alexa Khan has been picked by production as the favorite this season, and the game is being rigged in her favor. They implore that she cannot be allowed to win. Ominous stuff. The questions keep on coming. Is Suzanne not who she says she is? Are Banyu and Easton somehow involved in the production of Deathmatch Island? What the fuck is the deal with Bobbie and the many individuals who look like him? And lastly, who is the mysterious and influential cult leader, Alexa Ascendant Khan? And what might her having production's favor mean for the Plums?